Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry the last couple videos have been so sporadic. I've been so busy with work and the holidays. I actually got sent to China for a couple weeks for work. So just in between all that and the incredible cold temperatures that are outside, now it being early January now, it's really hard to get any work done or make any useful videos. But since the last time I made a video, Ted actually has done some work on his RB, so I'm going to stick that in right here.
Hey guys, so I'm at the shop today. Tim's not here, but I'm going to do an introductory video on my 300ZX Z31 project. There's not as many guides or anything like that on this car because it's not a really popular car to work on or to modify or anything like that. So we're going to do a video, try to maybe help someone out if they're in the same boat, just like Tim's doing with the RX-7 project. So I'll start with the walk around on the car, and then I'll move over to the engine and probably start doing some teardown today. Alright, so here's the car. Nothing particularly exciting about it at this point. It's just a base, naturally aspirated 5-speed 300ZX turbo. It's an 87, so it's first year of the updated body style, the Kooky. So it has rounded fender flares front and back, and it has the new taillight, and well, really that's about it. So there's not really much rust on this car, which I'm very happy about. These cars do rust out pretty regularly, and with it being 30 years old now, there's not a lot left. I just have to replace that door, but pretty much the rest of the body is in good shape, which is good because that's really the only thing that I need, that and an interior. So the interior is in pretty good shape. It has about 212,000 miles on it, so at that point it's really kind of a crapshoot. Most of them don't have great interiors anymore. This one's a bit worn, but it's not in bad shape. I did already replace the steering wheel. This Momo steering wheel is a hell of a lot more comfortable and a bit smaller, a bit more comfortable too. I just have an NRG short hub on it and just a spacer, and I am going to replace these bolts. These are just what I had available at the time. I also have an S13 short shifter. The original one that was in the car was terrible. It did not have the right snap ring in it, so someone had already been in there at some point before, and there was just a lot of play in it. You can like shift it up and down like an inch, which was bad. This one I just bought on eBay. It's an S13 short shifter, and it feels pretty fantastic, so I've been really happy with it so far. I do also have wheels from an 84 50th anniversary car. They look pretty similar to the original ones. They're just a little bit bigger, and even a little bit gold in there too, and in for the lug nuts. So my daily driver is a 2005 WRX, and if anyone knows anything about Subarus, you know the aftermarket for them is huge. So any part that you want, you can get from like 5 different companies pretty easily too. With the Z31, you don't really have that. There are a few parts that you can get for them. Most of them are really good quality. They're just more expensive, a lot more expensive usually. But what you can do in a lot of cases, because Nissan kind of just builds their car from a parts bin apparently, you can use parts from a lot of different other cars on whatever car you're building. So I have coilovers and ball joints and front knuckles from an S13, from a 240, that I'm just gonna put in there, and they'll actually fit right in the same control arms, and they'll fit, the top of the strut too. So that'll be easy. The S13 rear coilovers will actually fit as well. So pretty much gonna have S13 suspension all the way around, and also Z32 front calipers, because they're pretty standard upgrades for Nissans. Going from the brakes on the stock car to those brakes are going to be a significant upgrade, so I'll be fine with that. So I guess at this point we can move on to the engine. Alright, so this is the engine. It's an RB25 DET Neo, and what that is, if you're not familiar with Nissans, the Neo is basically the 3rd generation model of RB25. This particular engine was out of, as far as I can tell, an R34 Skyline that was automatic and rear wheel drive. Basically the Neo is a slight upgrade over the older Series 1 and Series 2 RB25s. So what it has is it's a slightly different head with different cams and solid lifters. I don't know if it flows any better or not. The intake's slightly different. The connecting rods are out of an RB26, so they're a lot stronger than the older ones. It has a different oil pump and water pump as well, and the turbo is slightly different. So all in all, it makes about 30 more horsepower than the original RB25s. So in Japan, there was actually a version of the Z31 that did come with an RB20. It's called the 200ZR, and what that means for me is that there's actually parts that I can use off of it that'll help with this swap, but most importantly it means that the engine bay will actually fit the RB, which is significantly longer than the V6 that's in the car, which is really convenient for me because it means I don't have to really modify anything. Now, eventually the transmission that I'm going to get is out of a Z32, which is very, very similar to the RB25 DET transmission. Just has a bit of a shorter casing because for some reason the Z has a way shorter casing. And the good news is that Z31 turbos, the late models, did actually come with that same transmission, so it means I shouldn't have to modify the transmission tunnel at all. It should just kind of all fit in there, which again is super convenient for me. So here's the stock motor that the car comes with. It's called a VG30E. It's not really exciting. It's a 3-liter single overhead cam V6, and this particular one made like 160 horsepower, like 180 pound-feet of torque or something like that. But that was 30 years ago and 212,000 miles ago. It kind of misfires a bit. It doesn't idle really well. Coolant goes somewhere. I don't think it's leaking because I've never seen a puddle, but the coolant just kind of vanishes. And also so does oil. So that needs to go either way. So at this point I don't really have much else, so I'm really just gonna start tearing the engine now. Alright, so we actually got the engine stripped down pretty well, pretty quick too. So down, no more manifolds or really any coolant lines or anything like that. So it only took like an hour. It's actually surprisingly easy, but did good today.
Shout out to Ted for filming some cool content while I was away in China. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you want to keep seeing more of Ted's build, just leave some comments. Let me know if you want to keep seeing stuff like that. I mean, I think it's awesome. I think the diversity is pretty cool, having a couple different projects. Yeah, let me know if you guys want to see more variety content, or if you just want to see more of the RX-7, or yeah, any suggestions, let me know down below. So in that time, I actually traded in my Subaru and joined the Z Club and got a 2010 370Z. So now, pretty much, we all have Zs. So in the next video, while we keep waiting for the weather to warm up a little bit so we can keep working on the RX-7, I'll start diving into my new Z. So I will see you guys then. Bye.